Hey guys, welcome back to GLOMSKECOMMERCE. This is a channel about e-commerce, running online businesses, selling on Amazon, selling on Walmart, several other things as well. I wanted to come to you today because this is something that's been on my mind. It's on most people's minds at the start of a new year, and that's goal setting. And I think particularly with like the e-commerce space, it's big to set goals at the beginning of a year. But then not really have much direction as to how you're actually going to follow through on that. I come from a background of sales, and the training that I got for goal setting was huge, and it was something that was kept track of every single day. So the beginning of a year, we knew the numbers that we wanted to hit at the end of the year, the numbers that we needed to hit each month to be on pace for that, even to the point where there was a daily tracker as well to see how we were doing for our monthly numbers. And so one of the biggest keys for success that I found is having all of your goals in concert together, because it's unrealistic. You're not going to hit one if it doesn't match with everything else. Or if you do hit that, you're not going to hit everything else. But then also having stuff literally written out in front of you and having the end in mind and then working backwards. And so to explain what I mean, when I went down, actually went to a coffee shop, put on, what music was it? Basically, I drawn out everything that was going to detract from thoughts of progress. It was like some sort of instrumental covers type thing to where, just kind of a zone type of a music selection. And I started out by just breaking down every section of my business, every aspect, everything that contributes to my business into different sections. And then I figured out what the components of each section of my business pertain to, what's required to keep those running, and then laid all that out on a Google Docs document, ran through, made sure everything was as close to what I need to have down as possible, and then I started putting down targets for what I want to hit. So we do drop shipping, we do private label, we do wholesale, we have a podcast. One of the goals for this year was doing a YouTube channel for both e-commerce as well as for outdoors. I love hiking. And I record all my trips, but I'm too afraid to actually put them on YouTube. So there was a goal. I wrote it down. I made a commitment actually to the number of trips that I was going to take each month. And then the number of videos that I would put up as well. And so the accountability that came with that, putting numbers, specific things that had to be hit. Here's a YouTube channel. here's YouTube videos. Because they have to happen because I have certain numbers that I have to follow. Along with that, though, I looked at our marketing side, both from what we're doing to market, whether that be Amazon PPC, Pinterest ads, Facebook ads, Google ads, the things that we're using. Social media influencers is a big thing as well, and so I broke down those as well. Put a budget to all of that, and then that is in line with our revenue goals. It makes sense with our profit goals. And you want to aim high, obviously. I'm a big fan of the 10X rule by Grant Cardone, where essentially you set your goals 10X, or you set them high, and then basically you do 10 times the amount of work that you think it would take to get there. And then even if you don't hit the goal, you're still way further ahead than you would have been if you were being realistic. So I'm a big fan of that concept. But at the same time, you don't want to go so unrealistic when you know you're not going to put in that work. And so I took each section of our business. So, yearly revenue, monthly revenue for each section, took into account all of the expenses, looked at from a personal development side with my team and myself, specific areas to hit as well. And it literally took up 2 pages of different bullet points. And then I reviewed it with the people that were closest to me in our team, and then went over their goals as well, because their goals are important to me. And part of my goals is helping my team reach their goals. If you don't have a team, share it with your spouse, share it with your friends, because what that does is that creates accountability. If you make goals and no one knows that they exist, do you think that, there's a chance maybe you fall back on that because who else is going to know? No one knows that you're supposed to be doing this or doing that. And so when you don't do it, the only person that feels guilty is you for a little bit, but then you can easily ignore that and fall back into your old ways. Definitely, I'm a big fan of sharing your goals. Having them up in front of you is another thing. So these are printed out, and then being able to reflect on them every single day, but then make adjustments too. If something happens where you need to adjust a goal, for instance, in January, we had a massive setback, like 3 days in. And so I had a goal set for the VAs, and I'm like, hey, I don't want to crush your spirits. So I'm actually going to lower the goal. It's still going to be very difficult to reach. It's going to take everything that you have, but I'm not going to be that guy where it's 3 times more difficult because of the circumstances. And you're just going to feel like crap. Now we're still going to be able to be on pace for what we need for the year. We can make this up with some of the adjustments that we've made, but you got to take into account that as well. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Not exactly specific e-commerce advice. That's, there's going to be more of that to come for sure. But this is something that has really helped me in a lot of different aspects of my life. And, the whole January, New Year, it's, I don't really fall for the hype of all that. But it is important to reflect on where you've been in the last year and set the pace for the next year to come. So, without getting too stereotypical with things, it is something that I do feel is incredibly important, because if you don't set targets, who knows what you're going to do? You're never going to overachieve anything, that's for sure. You will always fall short of what you are capable of if you don't set targets, or as everyone else calls them, goals. So that's all that I have for you guys. If you like stuff like this, a big part of what I do is not just, how to sell online and tips like that, but also a lot of it comes down to mindset and then daily execution of things. So not just setting goals, but now what are you going to do to meet those goals, right? The discipline that it requires, the structure within your business, or if it's just you, the structure that you have to set for yourself, at least on a weekly basis, if not on a daily basis as well. So there's going to be more of that in addition to stuff with selling online. So if you guys like this, give it a thumbs up. And subscribe for more information. And until next time,